Today on the channel, we take our last stand with a little action figure stand review, as today we're looking at from Major Bendies, the LJN, OSFTM, and Major Bendies stands.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another stand review. Yes, we review stands, not just action figures here, but today we're taking a look at the new stands from the Major Bendies Toy Company, of course. We know that with our pal, Don't Panic, It's Canic, and of course Matt Cardona and Brian Myers over there. Coming out with Major Bendies, of course the big rubber guys are what I am especially interested in. One of my favorite toy lines going today, a nostalgic toy line from kids of the 80s that grew up with the LJN figures, as we do know. But today we're talking about the stands, and I got a couple of these stands to try out and to use, and we'll demonstrate them on some different figures here today. But if you're looking for these stands, of course, head over to MajorBendies.com. You can pick up your big rubber guys, your Major Bendies, some other merchandise, and of course, these stands over there. So head over there if you're looking for these. Now we're going to run through these, and we got two different options. We got kind of a whitish, grayish, creamish color, and we got a black stand. So choose your own stand adventure. It's like the ringside stands, and of course, those are some of my favorite stands, as we do know, from the Mattel Elites, and you got the Jazzwares ones as well. But these being for big rubber guys, they're going to be a little bit bigger of a stand, as you can see right here. Now, the price point on these, two for $24.99. I know that's going to scare some people away, but there's no other real stands being made. I guess you could invent your own stand. You could do your own thing. You could sticky tack, whatever you want to do. You could choose your own stand adventure. But it's nice to finally have an option for these bigger figures. Once again, OSFTM figures, LJ-inspired figures from back in the day, and then, of course, the big rubber guys, having a place to put these guys down if you need to, because let's be honest, especially in the LJN cases, some of those figures quite expensive on the aftermarket, very hard to replace. You don't need the Ultimate Warrior or Haku taking a dive off the top of your shelf, if that is a possibility. So you need to lock them down, and we're all about protection, and this is what it is. But let's run through one of these first, then we'll try them off on a few different things here. A nice little square, basically, and I guess I should say a rectangle. A rectangle? How about a rectangle? But a nice stance on this here, of course, all out of plastic. You do get the Major Bendies logo right there in front. It's all about branding at the end of the day, as we do know. And then we got two footholes here. But the cool thing about this is you can choose your own foothole adventure, as these are on sliders. So you can, some guys have a tighter foot grip, some guys have a wider foot grip. You can do that, have that going on there. So you do get some side to side there. Choose your own gripping, standing adventure is what you have. So pretty basic. Besides that, you don't want something too gaudy. You don't want something too flashy. You want something a little bit plain Jane, because it's here to display the figure, not for the display stand. But does fit real nice. A little bit of a height to it, of course, you can see here. A little bit of a lip up on the top. But all in all, a good size here, and it's got to be. Once again, this isn't for your Mattel Elite figures. I guess I could see, well, Todd McFarlane, of course, from the couch. Todd, good to see you today. We could put him in here, and I guess you could maybe use it for this. You can't use it for that. I was going to say, you got to have feet that are big enough to be kind of locked securely in there. So wanted to point that out there. It's not going to really fit with any other 6-7 inch scale figures. Really for the rubber. It's for where the rubber meets the road here. But let's get out some of these other figures. Now I guess let's start with the big rubber guys first. I got Sergeant Slaughter right here ready to go. You put his foot in there however you want it. You line it up. I'm going to center it as best I can. You put the old Sarge in there, and he is ready. He is on the stand. He's ready to go on the stand. So pretty easy. I'd say anybody could figure that one out there, but it does give him a nice base. Now, I will show here the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Of course, the Nature Boy, an all-timer out there, one of my all-time favorites. He is one that is very difficult to stand. As we do see, he's got very small feet down here. He's got kind of those big bell-bottom type pants on here. I don't know if he's going to be able to fit on one of these because of just the way he's constructed. He does got a natural arch lean back to his back. You stick him in there, and it's not going to work. So you're going to have to check on some of these ones. Ric Flair is unfortunately not going to work, and he's the guy that, for me, needed the stand the best. But it is what it is. But Sergeant Slaughter fits. I mean, Cardona, Myers, Axe, and Smash, you're going to have no issues with those guys fitting. But Ric Flair will be a challenge if you want him to fit there. So just wanted to point that one out. Of course, we got other figures here. How about we go to the LJN-inspired Jazzwares figures? We got a good friend of the channel, Cody Rhodes, right here. You slide Cody in there. Look at that. He fits perfectly on a stand if you need him on a stand. So it does fit those Jazzwares style figures. Of course, got Macho Man Randy Savage all ready to go. Fits on the LJN like a glove here, and that's where I think these are the most important. It's great to have them for major bendies. I'm here for the bendies, but really the LJN protection is what is really needed. Is there's some pricey figures. You want to do everything you can to not have them diving off your shelf. So these are definitely an investment for LJN collectors out there. And then, of course, the not often talked about line, the WCW OSFTM figures from way back in the day. Got a rare boy right here with the old Nature Boy Ric Flair. He fits on one of these as well. So you can use it for your OSFTM figures. So versatile stand for the rubber-sized figures. That's where these are going to be. You're not going to use them for your Jazzwares, not going to use them for your Elites, not going to use them for your BCAs, things like that. It's for the big rubber guys and adjacent style figures. The majority will fit. Of course, not every single one is going to fit like we saw with Ric Flair. But this is solving a problem for a lot of collectors. And I always have to appreciate that. And I always appreciate a stand at the end of the day. Yes, a little bit expensive, but it is what it is. It's not like they're selling millions and millions of these to get the cost down. That's one thing you got to always remember in these things. But it's there for if you need it. And maybe you don't need it for every single figure, but one of the figures and some of the figures you really want to protect, that's what I'd recommend picking these up for. That's how I would do it here. But the big rubber guys, they fit perfectly on these new major bendy stands, except for Ric Flair. There you go. So there it is, a little big rubber guy stand. What are your guys' thoughts? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Check out the old Patreon. We got videos every single day and early access to both YouTube channels over there. You can, of course, always support the channel via Patreon membership. You can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. And, of course, don't forget social media. SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, and on Instagram. And, of course, these stands available over at MajorBendies.com. So for a little stand test, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.